everybody. I'm here with Desmond, who's driving around Holland trying to get to his office, and I'm being buzzed by the LAPD.
You're in the
and
little chamber.
I am sitting in a secret underground bunker here. Sometimes I borrow it from Mark Levin, and but anyway, the reason why we are a little askew on the time today is we had both set the time for my time 10 o'clock, and which would be his time 7 o'clock. It's currently my time 9:08 and yours 6:08. Because once again the interweb messed everything up, and it was just by chance I sort of looked at my clock and go, "Holy crap, we're going live now!" So here we are. I have a bad hair day, and you're in the car.
Yeah, I got a bad hair day as well, bro. I actually look like a mess, but for everybody that doesn't know me, I'm Desmond. I'm from the YouTube channel Dutch Urbex. The former YouTube channel was Dutch Urbex Explorations, which sadly enough got hacked by a hacker back around October 23. And since then, I actually lost my channel and lost the motivation of starting a new channel and new explores. And actually, Tino, he slid into my DMs on social media, and he was like, "Bro, you don't give up on this. You worked like years for this, and yeah, let us help you get back on your feet." And I really, really appreciate that from you, Tino. I mean, that's very considerate.
I saw how much work you put in, and there's nothing YouTube can do to help you get your channel back, because the old channel is still there, isn't it?
It's still there, and they even changed the name to Tesla US. And well, I tried to get in contact with Google and with YouTube, but unfortunately, they just send you to this link, which messes up everything. It gets on into some sort of loop, and if you don't provide them with enough information, they will just repeat the loop. And after that, I was sick of it.
So did you get logged? You get logged out with a password, name, email, everything?
I gotta be honest with you. I tried to download some sort of free shitty program. So as we all mostly do, it's you go to a torrent site and you download the program you need. And then when I was installing it, it asked me do you want to add this program? No. You want to add this? No. And a couple of days later, I was on the computer, and I got a notification from a program which I'm not using. And I tried to delete it. And then it said you don't have you are prohibited to delete it, so you need to be an administrator. Oh, I tried to delete it as an administrator, and well, I'm kind of handy with computers, and I actually saw that it's not even my computer that was the owner of the file. It was a completely different computer, and that was when it got strange. I was okay, I can't delete it. Well, I'm gonna leave this. So I think 3 days passed, and I was laying on the couch sleeping. My phone was off, and when it was 11 at night, and I turned on my phone, and I got some notifications somebody got some suspicious things going on your Google account. Okay, click the link, see what's happening. And then it just said somebody changed your recovery phone number. They changed your password. They changed this. They changed. Bro, I couldn't even believe that this was happening. I just woke up 5 minutes, and I get these notifications somebody took over my whole account. They changed everything. Even to the email account to restore your own account, they changed it. They changed everything. It was so surreal.
So, do you have all those videos so you can upload them to your new channel?
Yes, but a dear friend of mine, Moreno from Explomo, you might know him as well, and Leslie from the Bros of DK, they told me However, you got the same like videos, you need to change something about it because the guy that who took over your channel, he owns your videos right now, and if he wants, he can put like a claim on your videos because they're exactly the same as the videos that are on your old channel.
But you can also put a claim on his for infringing on your videos,
Is that
which you
possible?
can actually, which you can do now because this is actually what you should do. You should put a copyright infringement claim on all those videos because you're in them. They're your videos. You can document this. He can't document ownership.
No, and I'm in all the videos. I show my face in nearly every video. I mean, I do intros and outros and everything. So
I think you should. I think you should either put them all up or just start putting copyright on his, because somebody's obviously sitting there running it and making money on. Are they monetizing your old channel?
I was getting like I was getting there. I nearly got those 4,000 watch hours.
Okay, well,
I only had like 2,000 subscribers on it. However, I was so close to this 4,000 watch hours. So, bro, it bit me in the back, bro. It really bit me in the back. It was such a backstabbing thing.
Yeah. I mean, if it's not one thing, it's another. We will be talking about locations and exploring and stuff in a minute, as soon as we're done bitching about the internet. I started a separate channel for the food and bike show, and I had had my 1,000 people move over, and I watched everything. It was because I wanted to separate food, motorcycle, cars from military history and exploring, and I did, and it was monetized for 2 weeks. And then YouTube demonetized it, saying, "Well, these videos are uploaded somewhere else." So no, they're not. Can you document this? These are mine. This is now a food and bike channel. And I had the argument with them and said, "Well, no. These are uploaded to several other channels." I said, "Okay, well then you need to tell me what they are because I'm in all of them and I own them all." And they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't remonetize. So I parked that channel for a while. But it takes time to just get up there. But you're fighting the system, and they're like, "All right, fine," but then we have to fight the system. And you should absolutely do that. Upload all your old videos, and then put a claim on him as soon as yours are up. Because
I'm definitely gonna look into that. Yes, now that you're mentioning it, I'm definitely gonna look into it.
Because you can do a copyright claim on all of his videos, which are your videos.
Yeah, and I can even prove it. I got them all on my computer still.
Yeah.
Edited and unedited. So like I got like all the files.
Exactly. And at this point in time, what do you got to lose?
I mean, yeah, well, actually nothing. No, yeah.
Exactly. So, but that's also what I saw what was going on. I wanted to reach out because I was like, no. We're not going to give up just because the system is a bunch of evil communist computers that hates us. We're just going to fight back and do what we want to do because it is actually way too much fun to stop.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not entirely sure. I was thinking about what it is that makes because I met a lot of girls too. So I can't say this is a crazy guy thing that wants to crawl into strange places and find unknown.
No. A lot of girls that I know from Belgium and France and even Spain, they all do it, and they got like 50,000 to 100,000 subscribers or followers on Instagram, bro. They are huge.
It's not girls.
And it's not typical something that guys do. No.
I know, but really is a lot of fun, and I have a lot of. Among my followers, I see a lot of older veterans, or people who can't do it, and I try if I have sometimes I have older soldiers or civilians. My grandfather fought in this place, or I worked here, or I was there. Can you go by and see if you can see it? Show me what is there, and I love to do that.
Of course, it's actually an honor to go there. Like, If people ask you, like, yeah, my granddad fought in the war over there, it's actually an honor to go there, man. I mean,
It is.
yeah,
It is. And it's, I found that I was in the Hurtigenwald where I found some of the bunkers. One of the guys wrote me that his grandfather had fought for and blown up, and that's fun. Um, we were just talking about places we wanted to go, and I never until last year, like as you go, I go 2-3 months every year. I'm gonna try to break it up, maybe a little bit, do a month, and then a month later, and then it gets to be 3 long months, whatever I can save up for. But I
yeah,
found Poland is really interesting,
yeah. But it got
and
like all like,
Eastern Europe in general.
yeah, it got so much history over there. Like, it's yeah, it's amazing, man. All these places. It's not even like the illegal places you want to go, but also the legal places, like old concentration camps and all that. It's just I've been to what's it
Yeah,
called, near Berlin. It's called Sachsenhausen, bro.
excellent. Yeah,
I did not know what I saw over there, bro. I mean, it really
the
blew my
funny.
mind. Like, it's so sad to see like that people can do this to other people. I mean,
Well, that's human nature that never changes. One thing
true.
I do like about being in Eastern Europe is you have these huge abandoned factories and places, and no
Yeah,
one cares. They don't have the money to clean them up or tear them down or fence them off. No one cares. If you go to Germany, eh, they care a little more, and especially if it's military history, they will destroy it or bury it or close it off or
yes,
chase you off
and
with it,
and especially
or they'll
police will
clean
chase
up.
you off.
What's even worse? They're Red Bull. It's almost 7 in the evening.
I'm sorry. Is it bad for me?
I don't know. You expecting I'm sleeping?
Yeah, I always sleep. I drink it like at 12 at night and go to bed. Easy.
I remember from my military days that Red Bull and Bacardi Lemon is a really good mix, but that's a
Well,
different story.
we should try it when we meet up, though.
We should now. That's one thing that really got my attention about what you were doing. That I have a secret heart on for is abandoned castles and
That's
mansions and stuff.
that's
How?
the thing I like the most. I love industry, but castles and manors are like that's my dream buildings. Yeah, it's like really
How?
stepping back in somebody's life. I mean,
Yeah.
my photos, my videos as well, and
Yeah.
and I mean, yeah, it's really stepping back into time. Like you get to know people. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's so weird.
But
It
how
just
in a Western world can we still have abandoned castles and mansions? How are they not, I don't know, occupied, destroyed, full of squatters, something?
it's in Belgium. In Belgium, especially, there is a law. Like, if everybody dies from the family, the city or the councillors are like not allowed to take over the property. The property needs to sit empty for around 2 decades before the city can say like we're going to demolish it or do whatever we want with it. And that's why there are so many vacant buildings. A lot of like children that lose their father or mother, whatever, they don't want to um, take over the building because it's so expensive to restore or so expensive to pay
Oh, yeah.
like the bills and stuff. So that's actually why they leave it.
So if you want it, could you just go take it? Or how does that work?
I'm actually not really sure about it. The one thing I do know is that if you get caught in a building like that, police in Belgium is not going to do too much about it. They're going to write down your name, tell you, hey, don't come back. We just sent you out, but don't come here anymore. However, if they catch you a second time in there, I think they're probably gonna write you a fine, man, and or maybe even put you in the cell for a couple of hours at least.
I was like, if we already been to a place once, we don't need to go back, so that's fine.
No, no, no. Especially if you don't get caught, nothing's gonna happen.
Exactly. But I mean, I know in Germany they started looking at people's videos that go into military places that or abandoned military places they're not going to, and they actually go after them. They have their
Yeah, I
videos
did.
taken down, they get them fines, and they're not fun anymore.
I did it. I did a video in Germany on this tower, like a radio tower in Germany that was like 350 meters high. We slept there. We spent the night there. And actually, police was waiting for us downstairs.
You were streaming it live?
No, 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 no. We wasn't. But there was like a building on site that was people was actually living in there. So we did not know that up front. I need to cross the road. 1 second. And so we did not knew that. And we was like making hella noises, like, yeah, bro, we did it. We got up here. And so somebody was standing there with binoculars, like watching us. And they called the police. And yeah, we decided like for 2 hours, we're not going to go down, but we're not going to go up either. So we're just going to like sit here tight. And after like 2 hours, it started raining cats and dogs, like for real. So that's when we decided, like, bro, shit, I actually got a family, man. I need to go, like, get back downstairs. And in the first place, there was nothing wrong with it. We climbed down. They told us, like, where's your car? And they took us to the car. Nothing happened. Like 7 months later, I receive a letter from the German police, like, is there by any chance you are willing to do a statement on what you did in this tower? Well, and I was like, well, no, I don't really feel like doing a
Not
statement on
really.
what I
No.
did there. No, 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 it's all right. And a friend of mine, and this friend of mine, he actually he did do it, and he just made a statement like, I'm sorry, we didn't expect it to be this bad and shit. And after a couple weeks, he got a note. You need to pay this fine from 1,000 euros. But I didn't like put up the statement and I didn't reply to that letter. So I got off the hook easy, but he got fucked.
See, in America, we have a certain standardized statement when you go to court or talk to the police that goes, "I have no recollection of these.
No, I don't remember anything of it.
I I have no recollection, or I plead the
No,
Fifth Amendment."
I have no idea.
So
Don't
what?
remember a thing.
I drank a lot that day. But yeah, Germans are funny because like a year later, I'll get an 18 euro parking ticket forwarded through 3 different cities to here. Okay, fine. How much did it
How
cost you?
how do they actually find you across the world, man? I mean,
Well, they're eventually somewhere somehow. They'll actually write me directly from Germany. I'll get a recommended letter from Germany with the German pay stub.
oh
Um,
my god.
the funniest thing is when you get blitzed in Germany,
Hmm.
I get for speeding 20 euros, 30
Yeah,
euros speeding.
yeah.
If you get pulled over in Poland for speeding, it may cost you a couple of €100. But okay. And like, it's more expensive to be speeding in Poland than it is in Germany. That's okay.
Yeah, they are quite cheap on it actually, but uh, it's not cheap when you're like in this when they do work on the road. I mean, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Road work.
If
Yeah,
you
yeah,
speed over there, yeah, if you speed over there, they're gonna like fuck you
yeah.
in the ass
Yeah.
immediately.
Oh, speaking of funny, look, I don't know if you saw the video I did from this big power station in Katowice in Poland. Huge. It's one of the biggest built under the Germans. Enormous abandoned power station, and a lot of people they kind of want to try to sneak in there. They put up cameras everywhere. It's fenced in. There's guards, And my Polish friend, she's an explorer. She really wanted to see it, but it really, really is fascinating the way they
Of
built
course.
it. And we're looking around, and they had loudspeakers. So if you come in and you walk, they see you in the camera, they'll yell at you. I'm like, holy crap, these people are serious about this. And so instead, we saw the guard. He was outside with a little campfire, and I'm like, okay, let's go talk to him. So apparently, there's a guard association.
Yeah.
Give them $10,
And they all
you can go in.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. And it's like, just go knock on the door, give them like, here's 10 or 20 euros, whatever it was. Go have a look, and he'll show you around a little bit, and then you can go explore. And I'm like, well, that's nice.
That's good. Yeah, of course.
It's really the only thing I promised him. This old guy who doesn't speak a word of English or German, but talking through her, and he really wanted a Lakers t-shirt. And I got his address, and I want to send him a Lakers t-shirt, but I don't know his name. There's no name and number, so I'm like, I can't send it. So I got to go to Katowice to give this guy his Lakers t-shirt.
Is it not possible just to write down your own?
Little Polish guy.
But is it not possible to write down like your own name? It's only because of the address.
I can write from. I mean, if I send it there, if it's a house, I guess I could look up if it's a house. Then it'll get there. It doesn't matter. Then I could just write inhabitants of. But if it's an apartment building, then I don't have the right apartment. But sometimes you meet very interesting people crawling around in strange places.
Yeah. Tell me about it. We went to an abandoned bowling alley in I think it was Germany, Duisburg, somewhere, and we explored it all. There was a lot to see, and at the end of the bowling lane, we tried to document it, and they came like this homeless guy running with some sort of iron pipe behind us. Man, I fled for my life. I mean, damn, I've been shot at in France. Really? Being shot at with a double barrel shotgun.
Where?
The name of the location is Mille Chambres, the castle of the million chambers, million rooms.
Okay.
We decided it was a good idea to go to France with Explomo, with Moreno and Raymond, and we decided to go to that castle. We know it was vacant, but it had some sort of owner that inherited it by his former parents, whatever. Uh-huh. We did not expect him to pull up when we was try to enter the building. We were 50 meters away, staring at the gate that opened with a jeep that came racing on there. 3 children got out, a wife, a guy, a dog stepped out, another car pulled up, everybody get into the fucking castle. And we was standing there watching, what the hell? Oh, shit, man, it's not possible to go in there today. So what we gonna do? I was hold on, we're gonna watch what they're doing. These kids go inside, the dog goes inside, the wife or the guy goes inside, the wife's in the back of the pickup getting her things. She goes inside the castle. She speaks with the man. And I'm looking it's a weird conversation. It's verbal with the hands and shit. And this guy comes back to the pickup truck. And imagine, we are 50, 60, 70 meters away. We did not know they could see us. He walks up to the back of the pickup truck. Yeah, he walks up to the back of the pickup truck. He gets out this fucking double barrel shotgun. And he just fucking fires it at us. And it blew my mind. We started running through cornfields and all that. But it just got mowed. So the fields were completely open. After 3 minutes of running, we see this fucking white pickup truck through the field. Behind us. And my best French is croissant and gendarmerie. It's not that good. However, my friend Raymond and Moreno, they speak fluent French. So luckily for that, they pulled us over, and they invited us to the car. Like, boys, come on, we need to speak to you. And okay, we got and went the conversation. And as I had this conversation with the like probably the owner of this castle, I was looking. He was with two guys in the car. This one guy, he sits with the double barrel shotgun on the passenger side, and the other one, he had his handgun was laying on his lap, bro. And we was like in French, like, and I was like, Moreno, you need to like get us out of this situation because he will fucking bury us in the back garden. And I'm not ready for that shit, bro. It was a mess. It was a mess. And
I mean,
and actually,
you know,
let's. The weird thing about it is we decided to go to the castle, but we slept in hotels before. So we went to like a Decathlon store and we bought like mattresses and what you call that? I can't like fuck. The sleeping bags. We got sleeping bags as well. Because we wanted to sleep in the castle that night, bro. We it was a mess.
it's sometimes it's luck you have. I remember I was with hang on for a while. I'm just posting a link to your channel because somebody asked for it. I don't know if Tom is here. Because Tom and he finds some very up in Austria. He finds some very interesting places, and so we're in this old mine under Linz. This old where the Germans had factories and stuff, and
Yeah.
This is dead of night, and he's wearing a headlight, and I have my lights, and we get out. The entrance is right behind a factory building where there's security. And as we crawl out, there's black night, black nature. There's no light except the factory. So the security guard comes driving around the corner, and I'm like, out light. It's like, Tom, light out. And I'm looking at it. He turns his half flashlight out, but he has his headlight on, and he keeps looking at the security guard. And I'm like, Tom, turn your fucking light on. He keeps looking at it, I'm like, turn the fucking light out. Like, what? The one on your head. Oh, okay.
Oh.
The guy was 20 meters from us. He got out of the car, walked around the car, walked in the building. He never saw us. Like, there's a white light flashing you from the hillside, 20 meters in front of you. He didn't see anything.
Oh shit!
Then
That's
later,
lucky. That's lucky.
Well, we got better. So there's the other side of this in Linz. There's kilometers of tunnels under Linz. One of them goes in under this mountain. So there's this big building where they have industry, where some of the entrances are, and all these office buildings. And we're going. There's a little cubby hole where we're hiding. There's a parking lot, and it's all mountainside on one side. So we're sitting in what we're going one hole and have a look, and the security guard comes, pulls up. This is the middle of the day, and he pulls up about 20 meters from where we have to go right past him in order to get out. And I'm like, you know what? There's no way on God's green earth this is not gonna. I mean, I have cameras, I have my jacket that says media. I'm like, you know what? Let's just go out and say hi, because it is an older security guard. I'm not going to go chase after him, and I'm not going to run from him. And it's like, if you want to call the cops, we can just walk. Don't worry about it. We'll just go say hi to him. So we started walking over towards him. He gets out of his car, looks around, and goes in. He doesn't see us. We're walking two people right in front of him. He just doesn't see us and goes straight to the building. I'm like, I guess we can just leave.
Like, did he hit like a blind guided dog or what?
I had a funny story on that. I had a friend of mine. He ran a section of Group 4 over a security company over here in America. There was an armed guard who worked for him who was legally blind.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's funny. My friend from Poland, she wanted to come over here and explore. And in America, she's like, oh, so, because every time we were in Poland and there's a bunker sitting on somebody's private property, she's like, no, we'll just go have a look at it. No, let's just ring the doorbell. I'm all about asking first. If there's a house, a private property, I'll knock on the door, say, this is who I am. Can I go have a look? 90% of the time, I'll get a yes, no problem. I'm all about it. If it's an abandoned government facility or something, okay, that's different. Private people's property, I'll respect that as far as I can.
It's better to.
And she was all like, "No, fine. Just go." So, all right. So she asked me. So in America, I see there's this thing on that place and that, can I just go there? I said, no, you can't. It's like, but what about this? No, you don't understand. So what's going to happen? Like, you're going to get shot. We're in America.
You're catching a bullet.
Like, oh, you want to go trespass on this guy's farm in the desert in Arizona? You ain't coming back. So, no.
You're crazy.
You definitely asked for permission first.
Yeah, you on that row.
It's like, there's a lot of desert out here. Don't be one of them. But it's Simon just says a lot of security guards. They don't actually get paid to see anything, and they really don't. They're just there for the insurance company. Oh, you made it to your house.
Yeah, not my place, but
well, I mean, so where are we going this year? What are we doing? How much do you have a normal job that keeps you occupied?
Yeah, I have. I'm actually an elevator mechanic. So, yeah. That's basically what I do, man. I mean, I maintain elevators, place new computer system on it. Everything that considers an elevator, we do that.
It's an up and down kind of job.
Yeah, it's actually quite interesting. I mean, everybody's always scared. Like when I tell them, yeah, if the elevators get stuck, I'm gonna call. And like, bro, we'll be there in half an hour. Don't worry, we get you out.
I mean, there are safety measures.
Everybody thinks that if an crashes, it crashes down. Well, oh shit! There we are. The elevator is not like gonna crash down because it got like this counterweight on it. It's always gonna go up. The counterweight is heavier than the elevator itself, so you're not gonna plunge through the ground. You're gonna plunge through the roof.
Okay, even much better.
Yeah, it sounds way better.
So I don't know if you saw some of the videos I did from some of the Maginot Line forts where they fixed the elevators. Did you ever get to play with any of those?
No, not yet, but I'm desperately trying to go there.
I will tell the guys I know that when they need their elevator looked at to let you know.
Call me.
Come play with this. It'll be fun to go see how and they run so smoothly. They're really well running.
Yeah, I think they're in France, so I think that's from Kona elevators.
Yeah, I think you're right. But so where are we going this year? What's on the schedule?
A lot of castles, actually. France, mostly French. Recently, I've been to Belgium a lot because they are demolishing like all the old factories, like the power plants, the coal mine, like these furnaces, the blast furnaces and stuff like that. And I really needed to go back there once more, so I explored Belgium a lot. I did some underground things as well, like the mines of these brown coal mines. But yeah, I think mostly France. I love castles, as you know, but I'm desperately want to go with you, like Magnet Line or whatever, man. I mean, that's something I need to see.
We got kicked out by the foresters in Germany outside. What did we do? We were in. What's that big? that big place where they had the Hitler Youth School. Anyway, we
Um,
were doing huge abandoned bunkers out Vogelsang.
oh yeah, yeah,
And
yes,
there's
I
a
know it.
forest, all around that forest is huge bunkers that they sort of covered up, sort of destroyed. And I was with my buddy who works he has a museum curator, and we were just wandering off there. No one said it. And then we came back. There was a forester on a bicycle with red hair that looked at us, gave it a very angry look. And as I always like, hey, I'm an American. I don't know what I'm doing here. Am I wrong?
I'm lost. I'm lost. I don't
Very
know.
much trespassing. It's like you
Oh,
get away with a lot of. I don't know. I thought it
I
was
don't
good.
know.
It's like, and sometimes when you don't speak the language, they roll their eyes and leave. But apparently, if we asked for permission on federal forests, that was fine. I I had a Hitler's bunker in the Schwarzwald. Everything's destroyed.
Yeah.
There's rumors. There's ruins. So I'm sitting. So it's cordoned off because there's horses in there, like
Mhm.
electrical fence. They're always
Yeah.
nice. You can sort of roll through them, but don't try to jump over them because you get your nuts fried. That's fine.
Yeah.
And this is the forest road, and all the bunker ruins are in there. So I go through the fence, and I'm filming, and as I'm filming, there's cars starting to come on the road, and then they park, and then another one park, and the big truck park, and then the forester comes and parks right where I'm supposed to go out, and I'm this open field on the other side. I'm like, oh, this is kind of shit. So, and then the forester, he opens the fence, and him and somebody else starts walking, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get busted now. So I just sit down with my camera, and I start filming, and just sitting there, and he comes over and go like, Morgan, and he's like, hello. It's like, what are you doing here? Like, I'm filming nature. I'm filming the horses.
Yeah, live creature.
And he looks at me, he's like, you didn't see the fence? I'm like, I thought that was only for the horses. It's like, Hitler's bunker da. Like, yeah. Like,
yeah.
And he seen it, and then he walks off. And I'm like, thank you.
Bye. Tschüss. Auf Wiedersehen.
It's like, and it's funny, if you throw a camera up, they're like, oh, because I don't know if they know, but you know as well as I do that if you explore something, you don't take anything, you don't destroy anything. And so if you should run around with a camera and they know, then they know we're just looking, basically.
Just like you said, it's always better to be honest about it. I mean, if I do get caught somewhere, I'm always like, bro, check this out. I got this camera, taking photos, not destroying anything or whatever. You can check my bag, whatever. So
exactly
9 out of 10 times, it's just better to be honest about it. And
we were at an abandoned it was a Cold War missile site in Czechia, where I was like, all right, we were wandering around, and as we were wandering around, it was all fenced in, well, very much fenced in. And I had to be very creative in how to make a little plank up and a little plank down, back wall. And there's a lot of vehicles being restored. There's a lot of vehicles like everyone took over a bunker and did stuff. A lot of vehicles in non-check plates.
Oh, really?
Just looking, we're wandering around like, this is not. There's really cool armored vehicles, but a lot of foreign cars that happen to just be there.
Just be there, yeah.
Like, it's going to be a thing. So we walked up. Then finally, some guy came, like a big guy came, and he was yelling. And I held my camera. I was like, hey, how you doing? And I'm with a lady, and he was, rah, 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 rah. And I'm like, I thought, okay, this is going to get into a fight because he came with the motivation that he's going to get in a fight. I'm like, funny, hold my camera. This is going to be one of those. And he was jealous. What are you doing here? You're trespassing again. I'm going to call the police. And I'm like, and he was translating through her, but they spoke enough. And I'm like, he wants to call the police? Okay. Tell him to call the police. And he yelled a little bit more. I said, no, we're just filming, but if he wants to call the police, we can do that. I'm military. It's okay. I'm a press guy too. Held it up, held my badge. Like, no, we can call the police. Well,
Oh,
can I at least delete the footage? Like, yeah, I can delete the footage. It's like, I didn't, but I thought, I showed him I did. I didn't. And then
yeah.
he walked us out. And then he became much nicer after that. I'm like, okay. So it's like, yeah, so that's where all the European cars go on the way to Ukraine, I guess.
They all get like
But,
stolen and shit, man.
I know.
I think they
It's like, yeah, we can bluff.
yeah, we can bluff our way out of this.
So, but but it's true. If there's an honest way, I will take it. But so they're destroying all that stuff. I hate it
Yeah,
when
a
they
lot of
destroy stuff.
yeah, they are gonna like leave little things like as a landmark, so people can still like recognize what they did back in the day. But mostly they are gonna demolish it. Yes, which is
Wow,
it's sad because those old plants and buildings. I mean, it just has something, you know.
it does.
There's
And
this big place in this big place in Liège in Belgium, and we actually call it the big boys playground because I like to like free climb everywhere in these abandoned like factories. So yeah, for us it was like a big boys playground, man. And yeah, it's sad to see it go.
Oh, I know. And they don't build them like that anymore.
Nah,
Anything we build today is not built with this architecture, and
that's it.
it's
Yeah,
not amazing like it was. It just I know what they did outside Berlin with the big power plant. They turned it into an industrial park, so you can
yeah,
hike through it.
yeah,
And I thought, wow, that's nice. Uh, one thing the Germans did destroy. The Germans are driving me crazy. I saw they're debating if they should destroy Goebbels' villa, because Goebbels' house is still intact
yeah.
and it's in good shape. And they're like, oh, we should just like, can you stop destroying stuff just because you
Why?
don't like that
I
part
mean,
of the history? Stop destroying it.
no, it's
That's
history,
the typical
man.
German.
It happened. We
I
don't
know.
like it, but it happened. I mean, we can't turn it around, can we?
I'm like, then turn it into a museum. I mean,
Yeah,
like
make
every
some
other
money out of it.
museum that has anything to do. And that is fun. Like now, I'm a military historian, and I kind of like military history but it seems that in certain places, every military historical museum has to be a Holocaust museum as well.
Yeah,
And like, okay, I know terrible things happen, but could I just look at tanks or planes sometimes?
yeah,
Because it doesn't have. I mean, and it's like, well, but if you want to do a Holocaust museum, then use Goebbels' house. I mean, he was practically more responsible for that than a lot of people in the Third Reich. But there was a nice restaurant until I think 10, 15 years ago, and it's a beautiful house. And I don't know why that restaurant didn't work because it was apparently very popular. So maybe
really.
that's why. Apparently,
I
apparently that's why.
actually thought of going there like a couple months back. I was in Berlin. I think in February. I think I was there, or January. I was in Berlin, and I thought about going to see Goebbels' villa of house, mansion, whatever. But I think
I'm
it's not.
trying to get. It's locked up,
Yeah,
and the
it is.
bunker is
Right?
locked up. But I'm trying to get permission. I have the email for the local mayor. I talked to the BIG, and it's funny with the Bundesimmobiliengesellschaft. All they ever
Yeah.
say is no to any request. I found very interesting. No matter what country, Germany, Austria, they only say no. It's the only word they know, or they have nothing to do with it. They say they have nothing to do with it, but they don't have the key and they don't have access, and it's local government. And still, those are the ones who are arguing to government to not destroy it. And I'm like, they lie. They lie.
Yeah, they are.
Like the old, they constantly, no, we don't have the key. We have nothing to do with it. But you own it. No. Talk to the locals. I talked to the local mayor before. But no, we have nothing to do with it. You have to talk to BIG. But they say it's a constant runaround in Germany, and it's really infuriating. In France, if I want to see a place and I call the local mayor, he will bloody well show up and do an interview as well.
Yep.
In Poland, well, in Poland, they just don't respond because you're not Polish. But anyway, That's the trouble with Poland. There's some very interesting places in Poland, like the abandoned fort where the first poisonous attack took place during World War One ever.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
the first gas attack happened in 1914 or 15. It is an old Prussian fort, not Polish, and apparently you cannot see it unless you're a Polish citizen.
What?
I'm like, well, how about military? Well, I mean, you have like thousands of American troops there. I'm still the military. How about that? I also have a Danish passport. How about that? Nope.
Not
I'm
gonna
like,
do it.
well, I mean, it's kind of a historic place. You can't just keep it to yourselves. They can do whatever they want. No, it was actual gas, Andres. It was no, it wasn't the tear gas test. It was the actual poisonous gas because it's called.
Was it the mustard gas?
Yeah, I think it was because it was called the Fort of the Dead or something. The nickname they got lots of Russians died. I can't remember what it's called. It's Eastern Poland, and but there's a lot of interesting stuff out there. And now, but I always thought it was fascinating with so many abandoned castles and forts in France and out that way, because you would think, well, if you're French and you have a castle, why do you know why abandoned?
Yeah, it's like most of the times what I see about places is like with this castle in Luxembourg as well. It was bought by a very wealthy oil sheikh from Saudi Arabia. He lived there for a couple of years. His parents passed away in Saudi Arabia, and he just got up, got his kids, left, never to return again. Now it's vacant, and everybody demolished it already. So I'm actually glad that I did a good video on it. It's actually coming online, I think next week, Monday. But yeah, it's they just buy this castle to say like, I own a castle in France. I never go there, but I own it.
Yep.
You mean it's like
that is very Saudi mentality, and I hate to be that way, but same thing as like I remember when we were dealing with the military. I'm just adding your page here. They would keep like Iveco trucks, but they never bought spare parts. And when the truck stopped running, they'd park it and get a new one.
What do you think about like going to Chernobyl for a couple of days, like a week or so, just illegal, not like.
No, we don't have to do it illegally.
Yeah, well, but I don't want to go. I don't want to go legally. I just want to like live there for a week or so, you know, like.
I mean, right now it's a little complicated because
with the war and all that, yeah.
And that was one thing. I mean, I was in Ukraine last year. I'm going to Ukraine this year. I have lots of friends in the territorial militaries and the army out there. So nothing's really a problem at all. I also have I know some of the local explorers that go there. So going there for a week is not a problem, except maybe it'll be a little boring after a week. But the interesting thing about Chernobyl is what I was wondering is when the Russians went there in 22, knowing how the Russians don't always tell their soldiers things, did they just send in their ground troops to say, "Oh, start digging trenches"? Because it seemed like it would be a bad idea.
I've heard stories from like tanks running through the Red Forest. I mean, it's crazy if you run a tank through the Red Forest, bro. I mean,
that's kind of what I was thinking. It's but I mean, it's interesting. The radiation there is not even back then. It was in spots, in blotches. So, and there are people that lived there that have stayed there that never moved.
So there's this
the government shows up
there.
Yes, I know. She's still alive, isn't she?
Yeah, she's still alive. From last year, I think she's still alive. This old lady with her cat as well.
I mean, it's funny because in every Western explorer from the world just brings this woman vodka and sausages.
Yeah, yes.
She must meet a lot of interesting people from the outside. I see people, they walk in, they've never been there before, they just bring her groceries. I love it.
Yeah. It's yeah, but she's a legend as well, bro. She's a legend. I mean, if you go there, you gotta visit her, man.
Absolutely, it's like just wondering how many three-eyed fish she caught.
Her cat. I mean, her cat has got to get like some green poo out of it. I mean,
Radioactive cat. Yeah, as long as
doesn't she have a dog as well? Like, I can't really remember, but I think she had.
Didn't she used to have a husband too? Didn't they used to be? There's an old guy too, I thought.
Yeah, there are several people over there, but there's this typical woman that lives alone by herself in this small cabin. Like,
there's I'm just trying to. I mean, it's an interesting place, and that's definitely something that can be done. I'm just wondering how much the Russians messed it up. Oh, sorry, I'm just reading comments. But yeah, no, I'm up for Chernobyl as long as we don't go to the basement of the hospital. That's where the worst radiation is. After the firemen came in and they took all the uniforms off that was red hot, they tossed them in the basement. So the basement is hotter than.
But still, I still want to go down there. I mean, that's one of the best places you can be when you go to Chernobyl. I mean, that's the thing you want to see. Even though with the risk that comes along with it, it's one of the best places you can go, man.
I was in Kiev in the late '90s, and we were there doing a competition with the military and law enforcement and some personal protection and stuff. And everywhere we went, they would give there's parsley on everything, every food. There's parsley. You had to come coffee. There's a piece of parsley next to it. And finally, I'm like, why are you giving us parsley with everything? And well, because parsley, it's good for radiation, has iodine. And then I looked at him and go like, that's great. Where does parsley grow? It grows in the ground. Where does radiation go? It goes to the ground. So you're giving me radioactive parsley. Thank you. And they're like, oh, I didn't think of this.
Oh,
like,
yeah, no shit. I did not realize.
Oh, very sorry.
Very sorry.
It's like borscht with parsley.
Yeah, borscht.
It wasn't bad. I mean, it was funny. That was a fun trip to Ukraine because I was one of the few military dudes, and I had my uniform in top of my suitcase. And we flew in some 70 people from around the world. A lot of them were personal protection agents, not military. They picked us up at the plane in buses, and they drove us straight in, and we stayed at Hotel Tourist. And it was funny because old Cold War, huge hotel, and all the microphones were still on the wall. You have a bunch of personal protection agents taking a hotel, they're going to start taking it apart, right? All the microphones from back in the Cold War was still there. I don't think anyone was listening. But we never got through the airport where apparently when you came in back then, you had to declare what metal you had on you, like wedding bands, everything, because otherwise they'll tax you for it when you leave. And
really?
We never got that. We were done. They just dropped us off at the airport, and then we had to walk through. And everybody bought souvenirs and bits and pieces and stuff. And they started going through people's bags. Like and people, they had to start paying. And then my uniform was pressed on the top of my bag, and she just opened my fruitcase like, uniforma.
Close it up. Bye.
What's it on you? And that went through, and looking at me, I was like, why did let you go through? Like, I have never gone to Eastern Europe without having my uniform on top of my suitcase ever since, and a couple of rolls of toilet paper, but that's a different story.
Why is that?
Because apparently, no matter what, I always travel with a shovel and toilet paper. My first time in Eastern Europe was in Riga, and I couldn't find toilet paper any fucking where. And we were staying in the police station. They had old newspapers, and I'm like, okay, if they had that. So I always just made it a point of bringing toilet paper with me.
I always got these, like, I got children, so I always bring wet wipes. Like, if you need to go, like, take a dump somewhere, it's better to have wet wipes than, like, this toilet paper that sticks to your ass.
It's like usually when you have that. Usually when you have a flat tire, it's usually with about 150 kilometers both directions between the gas station and another gas station. I'm like, and that's usually when you have to go to the bathroom.
It's always in the middle of nowhere.
It's like, I need AAA. How soon can you be here? You're not going to make it.
Like 3-4 hours.
It's like, I'm not going to make it. I had goulash for dinner. But I mean, this whole Russia-Ukraine war is really getting in the way of a lot of things because I was looking forward to going to Russia. But not right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's the best time to go.
No, not right now. No.
I'd rather go to Israel. I'd rather go to Israel or Syria than to go to Moscow. Man,
I mean, I really like. Have you been to Ukraine?
No, never.
I really like you. I really like Ukraine, and I like Ukrainian people, but also like Russian people. They're very similar when you come down to the friendship based level. And they're generally very friendly. Well, no one tried to sell my kidneys or anything yet, so I guess I'd be good with the people I met.
That's a good thing. Lucky you.
I haven't woken up in a bathtub covered with ice yet. They're like, it must be Monday.
Hey, what's this?
Didn't I used to have something here?
I feel empty inside, man.
But so Luxembourg. How is it? I don't think I ever did anything in Luxembourg. It's so small that usually when I go in, I'm out before I notice.
It has a couple of good like little houses and farms, stuff like that, but it's mostly like the country itself that is beautiful. Further than that, like exploring, it's not really worth it. No, I actually rather go Belgium or France, Germany, Spain, something like that.
Yeah. I saw there's a couple of, I think they're called Urbex brothers, maybe. They were at an old military base. I think it's in Germany because one thing really annoying is people that go to places that never tell you where they are. And I understand why, but I wrote them like 10 times and they won't tell me. And there are so many rash shells, 155 millimeter shells. There's old cannon parts and dumpsters, so much military debris that should probably, I know.
You send me the link of the video and I'll probably get my hands on it. I'll see. I'll try my best.
I'll see if I can find it because this is also where I start thinking this is all stuff that will eventually be thrown out by government or something. And when I find military debris, I know a lot of people with military museums where this stuff would be safer than sitting in a dumpster waiting for someone to haul it off. Whereas also that's when you start thinking, all right, there's a half 150 millimeter field howitzer, half of it sitting there. Like, okay, it was abandoned, but it should be in a museum somewhere.
In a museum or somebody should take care of it.
That was the cool thing. I saw there was a French warehouse somebody was in. It was like carriage warehouse full of carriages. And lots of different carriages and horse carts.
Yeah, that's a video of mine. Yeah, a flat cannon 88. It's my video.
That was yours?
Yeah,
I saw that. Like, why is that 88?
That's a flat cannon 88. It's just somebody bought it. Actually, the story about that place is that it was like a collector's guy that he bought like carriages and he bought cars and everything like that. And he had that flat cannon 88 sitting there, bro. It was, I mean, why would you buy it? I mean,
Oh, I would know why you would buy it. I mean, they're rare. That has to be in a museum. Actually, it should be in a reenactment unit being hauled around. There's a couple of dudes out in the East Coast. They have a functioning 88 that they wheel out to reenactment shows and fire blanks through, which is really cool.
Yeah, it must be. I mean, the sound that comes off of that thing, it must be loud as fuck.
It's awesome, and like I have it in the last feature film. I'm actually making movies for another living. The last war movie I did, I have that 88 in there. Not pointing exactly in the right direction, but I don't care. You have a firing 88, it goes in my movie.
Yeah, definitely.
But so yeah, I mean that's one of the things that I'm trying to get my hands on one of the Polish forts, because there is an ungodly amount of Polish forts that are abandoned, and Prussian army, former Polish, former Russian, before World War I. There's just a lot of fortresses, fortresses, bunkers, older 18th century, 19th century. And they're abandoned. No one knows what to do with them. And they're actually selling them for, I think there's one of them I looked at, they were selling it for $500. I'm like, I'll take it, but I can't get the military department to fucking talk to me. They do not respond. And we're back to, if you go to Przemysl, their city has anything that's abandoned. If you want it, if they're old church, there's a fort, there's a castle, house, if you want it, you take care of it, it's yours. Done. However, that only applies to Polish citizens. So they're a little skittish about doing that. I said, well, I'm not going to steal it. I'm not going to take it anywhere. My grandfather was from Prussia, which is Poland. So I'm technically sort of grandfathered in, I thought. I mean, the Russians blew up my house too. So I'm working with a Polish nonprofit who does these things to see if I can get a fort. And and we keep coming across things like that should be museums. Now we'll try to get a fort to put them in.
Nice.
So that's kind of what I'm working on, of course. And then there'll be a couple of weeks every summer where all our followers can come to Poland and help us paint and restore our fort and mow the glass. Yeah,
they can help us. No, I really hope you get. I really hope you succeed with that, man. I mean, if that's like some sort of dream of you, man, I really hope that you can succeed with it and you own a fort one day or a bunker, whatever. I mean,
I want a museum, damn it. I mean, I always said I want to retire with a museum and a gym and a diner and a bar. Anyway, I digress.
And a bowling alley.
No? I mean, maybe could we turn it into a partial strip club so it's actually fun? But
we could do that, yeah.
I mean, I'm just throwing ideas out there, see if they'll stick. Like, in my experience, exotic dancers, as we call them for professional reasons, are far more attractive than bowlers, and I'm sure I'm going to catch a whole lot of shit for that one. But I will. You can write me angry emails about my take on female bowlers all you want. I'm just saying, if you have an adverse view on this, I will require photographic evidence with your angry email. Thank you very much. My emails for death threats will be listed below. You're going to have to back it up with something.
Oh, you're a legend. You're a legend. We're going to hell, We're going to hell.
Yeah, but that's where all the cool kids are.
Yeah, that's true.
You want to go to heaven? I was almost going to make fun of the Mormons, but I would never catch.
No. Don't go there. Don't go there.
If you need if you're going to have a company, you're going to have accountants, you're going to have someone to manage it. It better be a Mormon.
True.
When I was a teenager in Los Angeles, I was working at a nightclub, and it was just an interesting emphasis because the manager was German, the accountant was Jewish, and the restaurant manager was Italian. I'm like, yeah, this makes perfect sense to me.
hell, hell has dancers. I'm also reading like the comments.
You promise?
Hell has dancers. Darcy Edmond says it. That's great.
Cool. I mean, Hell's Angel, all the devils are here. I thought all the devils were in Washington, D.C. currently in government. Oh, bloody hell. We can't not talk about your farmers. What's going on with that?
It's not like our farmers. They are mad because like the government, like they want to get rid of them. I mean, they are getting like, yeah, but like 90% of the export that we do and import, we buy from other farmers from different countries. We got so many farmers in our own land that we should buy in our own country, man. We should provide these farmers.
Yeah.
And bro, I'm not even like following politics because I really, really disgust them because they want you to vote for them. They vouch for everything they do, and eventually, when they are elected, they do whatever the fuck they want.
Yep.
All their promises are right out of the door. We're gonna do this, this, and that. I don't watch the news. I don't watch politics. I don't. No, that's not something I do.
That's one. I try to sort of keep up because I'm sort of stuck with it. Also, but it's interesting when I've been working for a long time on trying to break down a video on how propaganda works and how to recognize it. One of my degrees is psychology, and it was very interesting, very clever. Goebbels would be very, very proud to see what they did with the internet and the media these days.
Yeah.
I'm slowly pulling out examples, and some of you guys have sent me some. I'm slowly pulling out examples, and it's very interesting how propaganda works everywhere. Like, for instance, we had this whole FISA bill where the government can spy on anybody, basically, ever since the Patriot Act, and we're finally going to get rid of it. And in the weeks leading up to the second vote of this, all of a sudden, there's threats. Oh, terror threats. Oh, then all of a sudden, all these intelligent and all the people in government who said no, they're going into these intelligence briefings where they're getting scared to death. Yeah. And then they come out and say, oh, after what I've seen, we're going to have to vote yes. I'm like, after what you've seen? They just lied to you like everybody else. I know those briefings. But it looks very fancy in the big building with the interesting you have the little rope on the little folder and has your name on it, and you have to sign this to see it. Oh, come on. It's all dog and pony show. And they're all making money everywhere.
Yeah. And actually, propaganda.
That's why one of the first did in the Holland.
Yeah, propaganda is the best and the worst advertising you can do. Yeah. If you look at it really black and white, it's the best and the worst thing you can do with like advertising. I mean, you can make people, but you can break them as well.
Yeah, and you can shift a whole country's opinion in a matter of a couple of weeks or a couple of months, depending on what you feed them. And then we wonder how our school kids come out of schools, well, at least in America, be hating the country. Like, well, it's all about how you indoctrinate them. Was it Stalin who said, give me your young for 7 years and I'll own them forever? Well,
yeah.
So, that's why exploring history is far more fun. That's what I wanted to ask you before we start paddling down this evil road of how politicians hate us. We'll go back to something more fun. So are there any time capsules left from the time of the war or even before? Because I know a lot of French people or a lot of Europeans aristocracy left. Are there anything left untouched from
I actually explored. Yes and no. I actually explored a castle in France. The story behind it was a castle in France. A family was living there. The Germans took over the estate, like the mansion, the castle. It's a manor. I don't know. They took over it. And the story is this guy He was German. He fought in the war. He met up with this French lady that was probably living in the castle. Um, During the war, he lost both of his legs, and eventually, when the war was over, they lived happily ever after in this castle. It's all still furnished. It's there's no vandalism, nothing. The video is actually online on my channel. It's one of the I think it's the first video
Yes.
with those
I
legs.
saw the one with the legs.
Yes, that's that one.
So do you know what happened to them?
We think by all the letters that we've seen is that he got like stepped on a landmine or something like that. He lost both his legs during war. And I think for some reason, I think it's not even that far away from where the castle was. And I think the Germans took over like all the bigger buildings in France.
Yeah.
And I think that the family or the wife, the female, she was still living there. Eventually, they fell in love, and they had, I think, not too long, maybe 2-3 decades that they lived together in that house. So, yeah, but everything is still there. There are books in German, in France, in Latin. It's just the vibe when you walk in there. It's crazy, especially when you go up there and you see like these crutches standing beside the bed, and you see those 2 prosthetic legs with a briefcase, and it's like those electrical shock therapy briefcases, like with those things that you put on your skin, like those like band-aid things. Yeah. And it really amazed me. I was like, "Damn, this blew my mind." I mean,
And then just one day they just left.
yeah.
I mean, it looks like they just left one day.
Or they died. I think the guy actually died before she did, and as a female alone. Yeah, as a female alone, it's very difficult to maintain like this building and keep up with the cost of it. But it doesn't have.
I mean, he couldn't have much help.
It doesn't have really like a lot of decay on it. It doesn't. The building, the outside of it, it doesn't really look bad. It's actually in quite good condition. However, there is this villa on the same property, on the same site, and as we were in there, there was like 2 people walking out of the villa, getting ready on the terrace. They put out like breadsticks and all that, and some food and some wine and everything. And we was trying to get our way out because we were inside for like 7 to 8 hours filming one location. Obviously, man. When I go to a castle, I'll be there like minimum 4 hours, maximum like 7-8 hours, just photographing, taking videos. And as we were trying to get out, like Raymond, he told me, "Bro, speak what? People is outside, man. I mean, people is outside. What? The police or what? No, the people from the villa, they are having dinner outside." Oh shit! So we sat tight on the couch in that castle for another 2 hours, just playing a game on my phone, and just waiting for them to go inside the house again. I mean, come on, leave! I need to get out. I need to go to the hotel, man.
I mean, you could, excuse us. Hi. We were in the house. Can you?
You know what happened? We were too late. When we got out, it was like 11 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night. We were too late to get a hotel. We were in the middle of fucking nowhere. And it was the same trip as we did when we got shot at with the double barrel shotgun. So I told like Raymond and Moreno, like we got two choices, man. We could like park the car somewhere in a field near a forest and just sleep with the sleeping bags outside. And so Raymond and a friend of mine, we slept outside in the grass because it was like 32 degrees, so it was fine. And actually, my ex and Moreno, they slept in the back of my Audi, so I cleared the whole like trunk. and I put down the back
Yeah.
seats, and he was with my wife in the back of the car sleeping like that. It was crazy. It was crazy.
I mean, I tried to get a station wagon for the same reason, because every now and again you end up sleeping in the car. It's just a
Yes,
thing. Or like
it is.
when I'm on the show, I try to film 1, 2, 3, sometimes 4 places, at least 2 places a day. Otherwise, I get,
Yeah.
unless I really get a big forecastle, then it is what it is. And sometimes you're done at 7. The next place is like 5 hours away. Then you're driving. Then it's 9 o'clock in the evening. Why should I check into a hotel from 9 in the evening to 6 in the next morning? I'll just, or a motel, or a sleep in the car. I pull into a gas station, sleep in the car. And that's one thing I love about European gas stations. I mean, real European gas stations. Good breakfast.
Definitely.
The showers and it just, you can do that in America. No. There is, but no, that's just not the same. The food is just better in Europe. It's actually, I always said I have better food in gas stations in Germany than I have in most restaurants in Los Angeles. And people think I'm kidding. Like, all right, let's go, Joe. Let's go. Let's go get some Jägerschnitzel at a gas station here. What?
What? Jäger? What? Schnitzel?
You get a soy-filled hot dog.
It's soy-filled hot dog.
It's only been there for 3 months. It's fine.
It's fine. You can just eat it. It's all right. We'll put it in a microwave. No worries. 30 seconds.
You've been to America? Have you been over here?
No. I wish I had. But I think I cannot handle like America, man. I mean, I got this image of America that everything is like bigger and better, and like I'm gonna like get attached to it, you know?
Well, let me explain America to you, boy. In America, we like guns and we like large-breasted women.
That's a good thing.
We like insanity, and insanity we're really big on.
I know.
I came to the guns and the big-breasted women. I don't know how the hell I got stuck in the insanity, but anyway.
Well, I can imagine, though.
It's just. I mean, I work in the film industry, so of course I have to be in LA. Although not really, because I hardly ever film anything in LA anymore. And since the political things have changed, I'm too white to be on TV shows anymore, so I don't get any cast for anything. So, my last agent told me, well, you know, it's a problem being white. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry.
All right.
No, I'm not. Oh, that'll be even worse. I can't do a Trudeau. It's like, oh, no, I'm not Canadian. I can't go there.
They will kill you for it.
Apparently, yeah. That'll really end my career. It's funny. I can pretend to be a woman. That's fine. But don't fucking pretend. Don't try to be a white guy trying to be a black guy. I was like, the last time, what do you identify as? I was like, the one with the role? The guy who got the job? I don't know. But if you come over and you like explore history, Los Angeles and California is really not that much fun. You got to go to the East Coast. It's more fun. Although I keep being told there is underground here in LA. There's a whole lot of the underground subway station, underground tunnels. There's a lot of stuff underground in Los Angeles. It's just been a bit of a nightmare to find our way in. Last time we wandered around in the basement of the federal building with the camera for half an hour. It's like we just talked in, took the elevator, wandered around the basement. There's cameras looking at us everywhere, and I'm like, no one said anything. I'm like, well, just look for the tunnels. Oh. I don't know why I thought we could get to the old subway tunnel through the federal building, but that was one of the pieces of advice we got. Now there's another couple of entrances. Of course, problem is we're overrun by homeless people here to a staggering degree, and a lot of people on meth and a lot of things. So I'm wondering, but it's okay. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm always armed. This is Los Angeles, America.
You live in the States. I mean, yeah.
But I mean, California is a little difficult, but I have permission to carry here as well. So I always carry no matter where I am. So I'm okay with crawling around underground. but I'd have to find my way in because that's a really interesting place. There's also a Masonic Lodge #1 underground in LA somewhere. The only guy I knew who knew where it was one of the old Masons, and he's dead, which is a problem. And he never got to take me. Yes, it's really a problem when they die. Damn it.
Yeah, it's difficult getting it out of them again. Yeah.
I know, and I know there's a bunch of you go to a psychic and said, I need you to connect me with my old friend, my dead friend. Like, okay, ask him this question.
He didn't reply.
Oh, you can't make up the answer. Where did he put the money?
He did not reply.
It's like, well, he'll get back to you. But yeah, no, I always thought then there's in the middle, we have some 600 ghost towns in America. Well, the whole town has been abandoned.
Yeah, but it's old, mostly the old mining towns, right? Or
lots of mining towns, but also because of how rural areas are being neglected and abandoned, and people just move to the cities. Some of them are just died out, and they're just almost abandoned or completely abandoned, and people move to the towns. So you can buy it. I saw a town in Alabama, 40 buildings, municipality, $1.5 million. Buy a town. You want a town?
You can make some money out of. You can make some money out of that, though. But
I could. Yeah, I mean, I could. Fine. We'll renovate it. We'll make it our own town. We'll call it Ostmark.
Ostmark. Yeah. Struckmann.
That was what the Germans referred to the East as. Ostmark, Westmark.
Struckmann.
I will call it Little Prussia.
Little Prussia.
I asked the Polish if I could have our grandfather's house back after the Russians blew it up. If we could have it back after, it's like, well, I don't know. We'll see. Are you Jewish? Like, no. Okay. What was your grandfather Polish?
I'm actually looking back at the comments, and somebody is saying like Hitler was building a subway
in Berlin. Yeah.
Is it
Berlin? Yes. You want to go?
Is it accessible?
Parts of it is okay. We lost him for a minute there. I did wonder when he was going to disappear for a second because his internet was a little bit shifty. So while he puts up a pigeon up on the roof with a so you just have to put the foil hat up on the roof.
You lost me there, bro. I was looking at like the commentary section, and I tried to back out of it, and then I pressed like the back button on my phone, and it was gone.
I was blaming it on your internet. I thought you had to put a pigeon outside with a foil hat.
Somebody hold the antenna.
A little antenna on his head. We all remember those televisions. No, it is. I'm a friend with the guys at Berlin Underworld, and Berlin Underworld, they locked up everything, so there's no problem to go see it. Part of it is flooded.
Yeah,
they built quite a bit of it for driving, and then of course they used it for air raids for the most part because it was never really finished. There's a lot of interesting stuff underground in Berlin. And you've seen him on Sasha on Berlin Unterwelt. I've seen him. He also on TV shows. The interesting thing is for a lot of these places like the Flak Tower and these things, they won't let you film there.
No.
And I'm like, well, fuck it, Sasha. I mean, so I'm dragging him with me for the second year. I'm trying to get to see the unpublic parts of Maybach, the huge complex in Sussen, underground complex. And there's Sussen 2, Maybach 2, that you're supposed to be able to get into. And Sasha keeps saying, oh, you get in and you have to climb with some ropes and stuff for a while. And I can't find the hole. We've been out there 3 times. I can't find it. So this year I told him, you are showing me how to get in there.
You are pinpointing it out to me.
It's like, I have crawled into every hole in Maybach 2. And the guys were in the can't find the damn thing. But also because I'm filming for TV as well, so I make appointments for some with Maybach. We just have to find the right time, and I have a hard time saying I'll be there on that date because like I'm flying into Poland,
Yeah.
and then I'm going up through Czechia, Austria, a little bit to Slovenia, and then I'm making my way around. And if you know how it is, you see something cool, it'll take you another day. You see something else,
you'll stay there. Yeah.
another day. And it's very interesting because you can sit here and Google map something out to death. And the moment you're there, all of a sudden things will pop up on your Google map that was not there when you're sitting
And
here.
it's completely different
So,
when you're actually there.
I mean, I think I have 2,000 points in my Google Maps spots now for Europe.
Oh, that's nothing, bro. I got like I think I got like 50K spots in like 3 or 4 maps.
You have to have it separate maps because if you put them all in one map like I did because I'm an idiot, you can't actually see Europe.
It will crash. Yeah, it will crash as well.
Oh yeah. So if any of you guys are actually listening to this, God knows why, but thanks for being here. If you have any interesting ideas, you start throwing them at us because there's going to be some. We're going to be doing some stuff, and then we're going to see if we can find out why. I was thinking about going to southern France to the submarine pens because I've never seen the big one out.
We need to get to the boats, like the military ships, bro. You need to actually go there by boat. We need to like buy a rubber boat and climb like the iron chain from the anchor and
they have
climb our way.
Ships up?
I'll send you the pin. It's like 2 or 3 ships in like a valley or a bay area, something between mountains. And you actually need to go there by boat, but you don't want to get caught up in that thing. Like,
I would imagine not. I mean, are they abandoned ships?
Yeah, they are.
I mean, they are. Yeah, of course they are. Yeah. That's one of the things I really wanted to go to Russia to see some of all their abandoned stuff, but I guess they're putting it back in use now. So
yeah, they're using it.
Yeah, or the Ukrainians are sinking it. So I mean, it's like this is not the time for that.
No, because I wanted to go like last year to Chernobyl, but then all of a sudden the war came, and I was like, no, bro, I'm not. No, it's not a good time to go to Chernobyl. Don't want to be there.
Like,
I've actually been skipping this for like, I think 3 years now. I really want to go so desperately to Chernobyl, but every year there seems like there happens something that like I can't go.
I mean, you can always go. It's coming back. That's the question. But let me ask some of the guys out there if they're back in exploring, because the Kiev area is fairly safe. Although they're of course expecting the Russians to make some sort of do some sort of advance. I don't think the Russians are going to march on Kiev again because it didn't go very well last time.
Nope.
But
they really underestimated the Ukrainian people, bro. They really underestimated them.
They had literally planned on the government fleeing 3 days of war. We'll come in as liberators. We'll just come in and everything will collapse. That did not happen.
Nope. It completely went south.
Yep, and I saw that Putin fired quite a bunch of the people in the intelligence service, so they got relocated. Like, you think, like things you should have rethought. And it was like, again, it's a war that it should never have happened. It should never have come to this. But
no,
it really is sad because the Russians and Ukrainians, and I know I can't say that to any one of them right now because they hate each other so much now, but they have so much in common on a cultural and personal level, and opinions. Okay, that you have all the differences, but they have more in common with each other than they have with a lot of other countries. And for them to be fighting, it's just there's all these young people are being killed on both sides for really stupid politicians' reasons, and it's it's sad. It really is sad. But
And
I guess
I
we'll
think
see.
I
We'll
think
see. Somebody's
the
speaking
main
Dutch in the chat.
let me see.
Don't make me translate.
It's some pathetic little people that are. I'm not even gonna like put any time and effort into
Okay.
that.
My narrator is, I think it's his wife's birthday or something today. So I usually have a machine. He's usually checking, but we can fix this. You let me know if I can fix this. Who's being offensive in Dutch?
This DK King and Nick Dierson, we can like get him out of here.
Sorry, gentlemen, it's not nice to not be nice. That's especially if you're gonna bitch on my channel, do it in a language I can understand.
Let me
I
see.
will receive your death threats gladly. I have a Viking sword for that. So I mean that's I see a lot of three-eyed fish and yes, and two-tailed dogs. That's what I expect to see at Chernobyl.
Yeah.
I keep every time I see Chernobyl, I keep thinking about the Homer Simpsons, the Simpsons fish with 3 eyes. But interesting question. Could we pick out 8 large abandoned places and do a walkthrough and an episodes and history on each one? I'm thinking I've been trying to sell my TV distributor on a Lost Places, Hidden Exploration Place series, and I kind of want to throw it at him if we.
I think we can do that. Yeah, I think we can manage.
I'm driving, so I'm driving. I'll pay for the gas.
We'll take my car though. We'll take my car.
You don't want to drive a car in Polish plates? It's a rental.
Yeah, okay, that's right. No, we'll take the rental.
Of course. See, that's one of the every time you see people, they see Polish people around Europe. They're like, oh my God, they're Polish. But then again, if you know a little bit about what the Dutch scrappers did around Europe, I see a Dutch car around like, God damn, they're stealing the steel domes.
Yeah.
A lot of them, Dutch scrappers showed up everywhere. Like, God damn it, they stole the metal.
Yeah, that's what they do. Cheap skating Dutch people.
Stealing the metal. Hang on, I see a question I may know the answer to. Mitchell, to find the source of the radiation underground the video. No, I did not. But I am going out that general direction again, and hopefully I can drag a friend with me with a LiDAR. But we don't talk about that until we've actually done it. As you all know, things have a tendency of disappearing when you talk about German military stuff that they don't like to talk about when it comes to World War II. Anyway, there's a Dutch fort I remember seeing years ago in some documentary, huge triangular fort, and I looked at holes in the ground for it. I can't find it. Now I'm wondering if it was in Belgium, but no, it wasn't. It was a Dutch fort because they were talking about the Dutch colonies, and it was a large Dutch triangular fort. I don't know if they turned it into a museum or it was abandoned. It always bugged me. I couldn't.
You would have to like text me this, and I'll look into it. Just like the other one that like send me the link of the video that you are searching for in Germany.
I don't have a link. I remember seeing it like the corner of your eye of the TV one day, and you're like, "Oh, what's this?" And then afterwards, it's gone, and I never got the name.
Shit.
It's one of those. It's like, but I mean, for anything interesting to actually show up on television these days is rare, which is why I people then love stuff like this. The military history is of course, always interesting, but abandoned places is also really interesting. And we have to go to Kazakhstan at some point. We have to get permission from the Russians, but we have to go.
No. We will go without permission. We will go without permission.
There's like 1,000 kilometers of desert full of cameras on the way. The space.
I'm actually more worried about like the scorpions in the desert than like the cameras. I mean,
I met scorpions. They're fine. I got bitten by one once. You're okay. It's like a bee sting, depending on.
You're like 600 miles away from the nearest hospital in the desert, bro. I mean, come on.
That's true.
I'm not gonna drag you there.
I saw that aerodrome they had out there. That's like, I can't remember who got into that. They got caught, didn't they? The guys that went out. Well, some of the guys that went out there got caught, I think.
Some of the guys got caught, yes, and there's a couple of guys that I know from YouTube as well. They did a walk in the park over there.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those where I would have no problem giving the Russian guards a couple of 100 rubles and go in.
Walk in, yeah.
Because this is one of those places. Since I also have an American military ID, I would rather have permission because
you'll get straight. You're gonna get sent straight to Siberia.
It's exactly but I want to go there too, but with my camera, not the way they think. I can just see how this is going to, if I could go. Some guards sitting in the shack station fueled on vodka. Vladimir, you know what we have? We have American staff sergeant here. And that'll be it. Like, Vlad, can I get promotion, please? I caught American.
You get 600 rupees more.
Exactly. Oh, vodka, yay. It's like, although it seems that, I don't know, there seems to be some friction between Russia and Kazakhstan these days. I don't know why. They seem to kind of be, I don't know.
Well, I'm still thinking about why is there a Russian military base in Kazakhstan? I mean,
well, I guess for the same reason there's an American military base in Poland and Germany and
in everywhere you guys landed, you have a military base.
Hey, we're American. First of all, we shoot up your town, then we take your women, and then we build a base. Just live with it, okay? We'll put up a PX for you.
It's true, though. It's true.
It is, and that's funny. Like, I just finished a documentary on Castle. I just finished it. I can't remember what it's called. Not Wallstein. One of the big German castles. It was just a castle. It's Waldenburg. Nothing happened there. There's no military there. There's nothing there at the end of the war, and the Americans still shelled it. It's like, oh, there's your castle there. Fire a couple of rounds. Well, when I was in Ibn Amal, I was there's one of the walls in the ditches that's full of holes and completely shot to shit. And I'm walking around looking with the guy, and I did the full interview. I saw every one of the battle stations, all the guns at Ibn Amal, which is now a 4-hour-long episode that I don't know how to whittle down into one. But anyway, and I'm looking at this going, oh, so must have been some fighting here. Like, no, the Americans did it. Like, what?
What?
Like,
they did what?
It's like they used it for target practice after they took it. Like, thanks. So not even during the war. We'll just take places like, well, let's go shoot some things at some things. Every
typical Americans.
Yeah, every ouvrage, everything. Well, this was the Germans, and that was the Americans. And this was the Americans after the war. Like, sorry.
It's so bad.
Can we stop shooting at things? But then again, if you've ever been to rural Texas, you would know. You see every street sign have like bullet holes in them. So like, no, we can't stop shooting at things.
Siberia is just like Alaska, but maybe warmer. Oh,
I actually would like to go to. I would like to go to Siberia.
Yeah.
This I wrote a script once that was based on, I can't remember what the hell I wrote this on. No, that was not the script. That was the book. I wrote a book. God damn it.
Yeah.
I write a lot. Okay, sometimes I forget if it turns into a book or. When I was working on my PhD, every time I was going to, I never got it because every time I was doing a report, it turned into a script or a book, and then turned into a movie. And I never handed anything in. But I found there's quite a lot of American pilots and air crews that died in prisoner of war camps in Siberia after the war. They were caught during the war. Some of them were sent to Russia, and they were shot down over Russian territory. For some reason, there were several hundred Americans that died in gulags, and it was talked about in Congress. I think in '95 they had a little chat about it, but nothing really has ever come out. And of course, right now I'm pretty sure the Russians are not going to talk about it now, but it's a real thing that really happened. And I would like to actually try to figure out, well, where are these guys buried? What happened to them? How did this happen?
Yeah.
I tried to address it in the book that I wrote that I haven't published yet, but it's a real thing. So Siberia would be interesting. But again, we have to sort of figure out how we can be friends first, I guess.
You and Siberia, or you and me?
No, you and me. I think you and me are fine. I was talking about the rest of the world and the Russians. But yeah. But the crews from the B-29s that landed in Russia, those 3 B-29s, they were interned, I think, in Turkey, and for the remainder of the war. They came back. I think actually they escaped or they walked, but they all came back. They weren't them. Mm-hmm. There was other air crews, and no one really ever talked about that story. Yeah, Jeffrey, I know. I got several World War II books I want to publish, and I had a publishing deal, and that went away when that publishing company went out of business. And since people don't really read anymore, it's hard to get books published. That's why I started doing videos instead of just sitting at home writing books about a place. Let's go there and show the place, because that's all we can really do. A lot of people can't just travel around and see places like we can. And I think the most important thing we can, like the mansion you found with the guy without legs, it's a story that no one will ever know unless you tell it. And who else is going to tell it? And you can't write a book about it because no one's going to read a book about that. They have to see it. So we have to go. And that's why I think that we do is interesting.
That's what inspires me to explore these abandoned places. Just the story behind it, the architecture of the building, the story behind it, and the mission itself. You're still kind of doing something that is prohibited. You can't really go trespass somebody's property, but still it gets me into this special rush type of thing.
I mean, I think sometimes it's more comfortable to film when you're either inside or you have permission. But either way, how did you get started on this?
I actually started around 6 years ago watching. I was just on YouTube. I was just scrolling, and there popped up this video from a guy Moreno, Explomo, and I was like, damn, bro, this is abandoned buildings. That's great. And it was this ice hockey stadium in Belgium. So I called up 3 of my friends, bro, we're going to go Belgium this weekend. Do what? Explore some abandoned building. Why would you go into abandoned buildings, bro? Because it's fun, I think. I don't know. Let's see and find out. So we went to the most known locations ever, this a fort in Belgium. You might know it in Liège, Fort Chartreuse. We went to an ice hockey stadium. We went to the subway, the former subway stations from Liège, where all the buses were held up. We did a couple of things, and from that point on, I knew this was something I really like doing, and yeah, I just rolled into it.
I mean, it is fun, and it is.
Yeah.
It bothered all the years I lived in Europe, all the places I could just have driven to. Now I have to fly and go and see. That drives me mad. But I see a lot of Dutch people in general exploring. I mean, I see a lot of Dutch-speaking videos without subtitles.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's why I do my videos in English, subtitles in English or in different languages. But like the title of the video is always in English because it just attracts more people to it.
And it does, and it's some the auto subtitling is not exactly accurate.
No.
And by the way, no, I'm not going to North Korea. By the way, the moment North Korea stops becoming a People's Democratic Republic of North Korea, I am going to go to the place where they claim the Japanese tested a nuclear bomb in 1945. Oh, I'm going, but I'm not going just yet.
No, we'll wait.
It's like,
And
I'll take a fine.
What do you think about Fukushima? Fukushima, I really want to go there. Actually, one of your fellow people from the States, Steve Ronin, he just did a fucking full documentary on it.
He did. I got to check that out. I was seeing that there were some things that were strange about what's going on there, and it was strange about either the cleanup wasn't done right or they were shielding off more than they should. There was something weird going on from what I saw.
I don't know.
I mean, there's always a conspiracy about everything, but I was seeing that some people had gone. And there's something strange going on. I can't. I mean, it's been years since I looked at it, but yeah, I mean, why not? I'm just dealing with all this radioactive tuna that's coming over here from Japan. I mean, come on.
You might as well go there, right?
Do you know how you get kicked out of a sushi restaurant in California? You go there and you bring a Geiger counter. Let's see. I don't want that one.
Oh, shit.
Apparently, they don't think that's funny at all.
No,
I don't know why.
No, I don't know why. No, I can't imagine.
Chased out with his samurai sword and chopsticks. I'm fucking sorry, dude.
Yeah, Bob Tisson. Yeah, that's the guy. Like Ed Chikowski is now saying, "Do you know Bob Tisson? He's from exploring the unbeaten paths. He's actually one of the guys that went to Baikonur, and I think they got away with it as well."
I think I'll follow him too. Go to the dollar store with a Geiger counter. Yeah. They're closing all the dollar stores in California because they can't afford to exist anymore because nothing is a dollar.
Nope.
Yeah, it's interesting. The old radioactive test sites out in the desert here, where they tested all the nuclear bombs. I always wanted to go there. I don't know exactly. Again, strange things that doesn't make sense. They have tours 1 week a year only. You can't bring a camera, a cell phone, any kind of electronics. Like, why?
What's the point of going? Yeah, what's the point of going then?
Like, theoretically, I'm expecting, if I were to just say, theoretically, I'm going to go see a desert full of big craters. Why? Yeah. What are you afraid of taking? What can't I take pictures of there? Is there something I'm not supposed to take pictures of? I'm just saying. I mean, they're still adjacent to an active. I think that they fly experimental planes and stuff out there. But come on now. And I talked to them. I did do the official route. Said, can I come out and I'd like to film and see these places because I want to compare them to other. Oh well, I just need to get a letter from the network. Like, okay. So I usually film first and then I sell. But like, can I get you a letter from a distributor? No, network only.
No, network only. Yeah.
Fine. Well, so yeah, I mean, that's I've always said when it comes to military stuff, when they're starting to do the hide things, when there's things that they tell you, this is all that happened here. Okay, can I go there? No. Why? That's all that happened there. You can't go. Can I do it? And I talked to them several times. I reached out to the military. I was like, well, we have some old Russian bunkers and this. Oh, can I go and film? No. Can I go see it? No. Can I come to an interview? No more comments. Okay. And they always ask me, why? Why is it that you tell me what? And that's why I always spend a lot of time trying to figure out what the German special projects were. And all I keep running into them saying, well, there's nothing here to see. Nothing happened. This is fine. Let's go there. No. Oh, you did it again. Damn, that pigeon he has on the roof out there.
How do I keep pressing this back button when I'm in like commentary section?
I was just like, did your pigeon fall off the roof again?
I still need to stand like with the.
I mean, I know Ed. He remembers the antenna on the TV. I see a lot of my guys here who are of a vintage that they remember that. Ain't that right, Ed? But
it's like these old East German TVs. If you sit in front of it, you'll get a suntan out of it.
I know. Yeah, my great grandma always said, "Don't sit too close to the TV." I'm like, "Why?" Like, oh, yeah, that's why.
Oh, you'll get a suntan.
Do you remember when they said, "Don't stand in front of the microwave when you're cooking food"? They stopped saying that. Why? But yeah, it's funny because whenever you have a Julia Metcalf that's talking Dutch to you.
Yeah, it's the same thing as we were over a couple minutes back, so we can delete those motherfuckers as well.
Do you have people who deliberately don't like you in Holland for some reason?
Yep.
Is it you or is it what we're talking about?
What?
Is it you or is it what we're talking about?
No, it's about me.
We don't. Yeah. Tom had some people that I mean we all have. That's what I don't understand is some people will write extensive emails about how much they hate what I'm doing. I'm like, well, just don't watch it. I'm not making you watch what I'm doing. It's
always the same pathetic people that are like doing these types of things, bro. I mean, I cannot even be bothered by it anymore. So,
and you can't be. I mean, like I said, half my family was from Denmark, and I love Danish food. I love parts of Danish culture. What I absolutely cannot stand about Denmark, or what it is that you have in many smaller countries, is you have just the opposite of what you have in America, where anybody can grow up and be anything they want to be and believe yourself and be successful, and success is rewarded here. You have a small European or Scandinavian countries, it's just the opposite. Don't you dare try to be different than everybody else. It's the way of the world. Like, no, you can't be different. Don't you buy a red car because everyone else have gray cars.
Everybody, they all drive it.
Yeah. And it's like you try to stand out and do something with your life. Or I remember I had a big company in Copenhagen, and I owned the bloody thing. And I had at High Point, some 60 people working for us. And
nice.
At one point, I had a new Mercedes. I drove up to the office once, and everybody wanted a raise, and everybody gave me shit. And I'm like, it's my fucking company. I built it from myself, alone, one person. So if I was to get rid of the car and kept driving my old BMW because there's just too much shit from the owner of the fucking company having a nice car. It's not allowed. I'm like, nope. I'm moving to America. And then you hear people, you went to America to be an actor. Oh, I'm laughing. I was like, yeah, I got qualified for an Oscar. Not a word. There's not that many Danish people, Danish-born people that are on TV shows in America. I've been on a few.
Nope.
No one will talk to me out there. Couldn't even get like I don't even like the last when my films, the feature films, are released in Denmark. No one from Danish media reached out. I filmed part of the last war movie in Denmark. I called a bunch of reenactors.
I actually think people is kind of fucking jealous about it, bro. I mean, when you succeed something, they start hating about it, you know?
Yeah, and it's just if you do something you love and you're happy, they're only happy when you fail and you're bankrupt and you're miserable and oh good, now you like us. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh, you can like
no,
you can delete this Hank guy. 2 times 9 is 18, and this motherfucker with anonymous XX. You can delete that as well. Pathetic little fucking children.
You brought your fan base.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, good. So, like, can we at least keep the comments in English so whenever somebody offends somebody, it's in English? I feel very left out here. And that's despite that was actually funny. Last TV show.
This last guy as well. They all making new accounts every minute. This anti-pedo 2.0. You can like
anything that's not in English that I can't read, we're just going to delete that. Where's Machine when I need it? It was funny because the last TV show I on was Colony, and for the second season, I was the main bad guy that was trying to kill all the actors. And they called me from Universal at one point and said, "So we have a role for you because we saw you were born in Denmark, so you speak Dutch, right?"
Dutch in Denmark? Oh my god!
And it's like, and I'm like, okay. I don't want to tell the casting agents from Universal Studios that she doesn't know geography and she's a moron. So I'm just like, yeah, whatever you say. Absolutely. And so I got the part, and the first line in the movie is "We hebben de motor."
We hebben de motor.
Yeah, that's the only Dutch line I had. Everything else was English after that. I'm like, okay, I thought that was going to happen. And then like, goeiedag. But the funny thing, last time I was in Holland, I was in the hotel, and they recognized me.
No.
And I'm like, really? You're kidding me?
Oh, that's awesome, though. That's awesome. I got a little
call. That was such funny. It was like, okay. I figured, okay, I guess there's not many Dutch. I don't know why the character had to be Dutch. It doesn't really make any specific sense that he's Dutch, but and then I just swung into my German accent instead because they can't tell the difference anyway. They don't know the difference between Danish and Dutch to begin with.
Nope. It's a whole different country.
I was like, oh, my mom. I was like, my mom was from Denmark. Oh, I've been to Amsterdam. I'm like,
I've been to Amsterdam.
Like, oh yeah, Copenhagen, that's the capital of Amsterdam. I'm like, go away. And I get that so much, and we have so much. It's a lot of fun over here. Sometimes I sit in a restaurant and with a Danish friend, and by the way, a T-shirt. Anybody recognize who sent me this T-shirt? Hail Odin. And I'm just saying, on the Lost Battlefield shirts, there are Hail Odin T-shirts for sale now. I think it became a thing, so now Hail Odin a thing.
Hail Odin.
Hail Odin. We're all. I mean, you guys are all. You're the same descendants that I have of the same Vikings. Did you fight war? Did the Dutch fight any wars against the Prussians?
Against who?
You must have gotten involved in something. The Prussians.
I don't know.
I don't know. Actually, the Prussians fought.
I actually don't know.
I don't know either. Actually, interestingly enough,
I know we got I know we got suppressed by the Germans, but
well, everybody did. So okay, so that technically is the Prussians against the Prussians. Yeah, I loved it when Putin, he was talking about historically this is part of this and part of this. I'm like, fine. Historically, I would like Prussia back, Vladimir. So would you please hand over Kaliningrad? Like, no? You want to have this conversation, boy?
Nope, not here.
Like, what, can we push the borders back to when Denmark owned Norway and half of Sweden? Can we want to do that? Because we can do this. We can play this game all day. That's actually one thing I found that was interesting. I wanted to look at Austro-Hungarian forts, mountain forts, the Alpine forts, and Prussian forts. I couldn't find a single book on either. There might be some in German that doesn't come up over here. I couldn't find any writings on Prussian forts or Austro-Hungarian fortresses and fortresses. So I'm like, well, if nobody wrote one, then maybe I should do a picture book.
You should do a picture book about it.
I mean, so did the Dutch build forts in their colonies? They must have done.
Yeah, we built several, but I think we have like a couple of them left. There's one in like Almere, but it's all like demolished. It's not really worth going there, actually.
Huh. Like, I mean, then there's the whole Pacific and Asia part as well, but I don't know if is there an Urbex society in East Asia? I have the impression that the Asians would utilize everything left behind or left from an abandoned factory. I don't know. Is there anything left? Is there anything there at all? I haven't heard of anything.
I don't know, actually, to be honest.
I was like, never thought about it. I mean, there's always abandoned military stuff, but it's not like you can find an abandoned factory in Vietnam. They would take everything and use it, right? Oh, yeah. Speaking of abandoned, the railroad station in that pass between France and Spain, where the trains had to change gauge. Remember that one?
Yeah, the big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it. No, I was actually last year. I was on holiday in Spain, and on the way back, I thought about going there, but I didn't because I was with family. So we actually skipped that. So
I wonder if that's. I think it was sort of abandoned because it didn't really know what to do with it.
Yeah, I think it's semi-abandoned. I think it's not really in use, but it's not really an Urbex location or something like that.
No, but I've seen one of the typical History Channel stuff visit there, but I've never seen an actual exploration of it. I remember they were talking about they talk a lot about trying to do things with things, but that never materialized. Oh, interesting. Okay. Interesting.
I think they restored a part of it, though, to be honest.
I mean, I would hope so, because it's historically, it's an interesting place. It's a beautiful place.
It is, yeah. Huh. It really is.
Have you done? There's an abandoned NATO headquarters in Italy, over the Alps.
I don't know that one.
It's interesting. Years ago, one of my friends, and I know it's one of my friends, told me that he knew somebody who with the keys for it. Who's sort of babysitting. You can also sneak in. I've seen people sneak in. It's really a very large, a huge underground bunker. And ever since that minute, I had that conversation with that person. None of my friends will admit to having been the person who has that friend. So I can't figure out who the hell I know with the key. I asked all of them, who told me about this? Someone told me they knew the guy that would go see. And I've wanted to go for years. I can't find who the hell it was.
Somebody needs to reply this in the commentary section who got the answer to it.
I got one of my guys here sent me an Italian World War I helmet. It doesn't matter if I put a liner in that helmet. It's too small for my head without the helmet liner. So the helmet alone is too small. Apparently, I have a giant head. I thought you'd noticed.
You have a big head.
That was my first complaint, and one of the first videos I did many years ago was I was walking in front of locations talking about it. One of the comments, why do we have to see his face the whole time? I was like, yeah, I guess you have a point there. All right, fine, I'll turn the camera around.
I got the same thing.
In Canada, Canadians, abandoned. Really? NATO abandoned a base in Canada? I thought, tell me more.
No,
I'm curious.
no,
I don't want to.
they is
I'm
lying
sorry.
to you. This guy is a Dutch. This guy is a Dutch guy as well, bro.
No, I think actually that's one. I think that's one of mine. Which one here is it?
No, just read back the
Simon.
commentary section.
No, there's an abandoned underground base near my house in Canada, Mitchell Road. He's one of mine. I haven't been to Canada. Simon's one of mine. Darcy's one of mine. I know a lot of these guys by now.
All right.
I just didn't think. That's interesting. Now I see. That's the funny thing, because when I was talking to Tom 6 months ago, they were doing the same crap to him. Okay. Ontario, but I just didn't know that the NATO had actually abandoned bases in Western countries yet. I thought we were only downsizing in Germany and so on. But Canada kind of scares me. I have to do. I have some very special project in Canada that I'm not entirely sure how to approach, but it does involve digging up a grave. With permission, because I have to document it. I'm not going to sneak up to Canada with a shovel. Here he goes again. We're talking about special projects, and he jumps off. It's what in the hell are you people talking about? Where did he go? All right, we'll give me some email information later. And where the hell did he go? Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's going on, and I'm not entirely sure where he went. Anyway, so my plan for this year is, well, my usual plan, I guess. I'm going to come and see and find and conquer. But I am kind of hoping I will get myself down to southern France and take a look at some of the submarine pens way down there on the other side. If any of you guys going to the D-Day celebration, because I kind of thought I would at that time have been swung up in Norway. There's some of the forts and lots of forts and bunkers and stuff up there that I kind of want to see. And I don't know if I'm going to go up that way or I'm going to. There's more and more people that are sort of kind of nudging me towards doing the D-Day celebration. I just don't really. There's not really anything for us to see. I mean, there's a lot of events and memorials and people holding speeches. Yes, exactly. I was going to go up to Norway and Sweden. And I'm at that time, but we'll see, I guess. We have a bunch of military bases over here, missile system bases here in the States, but they are sort of. Most people actually buy them because everybody in the mother these days wants an abandoned missile silo, including me, I guess. But I don't know. Let me know over the next over the couple of weeks or whatever if you any of you are planning on doing the D-Day celebration, because if enough of us are anywhere near there, I don't have the impression that most of you guys are doing that or going. But if we are, I could try to plan around being there for a day or two. I have a couple of friends that are going out there, and there's a couple of places I need to go out to and reshoot some things and visit again. We have to go to the blockhouse and see if we can convince these guys to actually drain that bunker for me, is what we will see. But anyway, that's Shadow, write me an email, would you? Don't do this here. And anyway, being gossiping without information is a little undignified. Anyway, yeah, it's like I just thought about the D-Day thing, if that's something we want to do. No, I think the D-Day. I mean, even the Germans started showing up for D-Day. Although it is kind of fun that there's never any German reenactors at the D-Day celebrations, which I thought would kind of be fun because then when they roll through in a Sturmgeschütz or German uniform, they would probably find that far more fun than seeing. I don't know. I haven't been to any of the military parades or whatever they're doing out in Normandy. Because like again, it doesn't really. There's not really much I can tell you or show you from there that that you guys haven't seen or can't see somewhere else. But if it works for me going through there down to the submarine pens and just continue further, driving. I try not to when I do my trips. I try not to spend, like, if I drive for a whole day to get to one location, and it'll take me 2 or 3 days to get to one place to film one thing. Then it's all about economics, because and YouTube is a horrible economic option these days. I can honestly say, on my guys on Patreon, you help me more than YouTube revenue does, and that's really sad because that's not how YouTube used to be. But unfortunately, that's the world we live in now. So it all boils down to economics. And I was going to show you on Patreon, on members, that you have actually gotten us a new camera that I definitely desperately need. So now I can shoot 4K. I don't know if YouTube could stream in 4K, but I know some of the networks can. Maybe we can elevate a little bit, but we shall see. The Germans that show up for memorials now, but and the German officials and German current military will show up and in Normandy. But what I'm saying is, German reenactors don't show up in Normandy. You have Americans, Canadians, French, and all that, but you don't have a German contingent of German reenactors in Normandy. Not that I have seen. But anyway, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, no, but the Germans were there. I mean, half of D-Day was pretty much because the Germans were there, so they really should be allowed to be there. But anyway, it's up in the air if I'm going or not. We shall see. Obviously Poland, and I swear I'm gonna make you guys love the Polish forts. If you want to or not, I will drag you kicking and screaming down that dark tunnel with me. And then Norway and Sweden. There's some really interesting forts there too. And Norway had an enormous amount of fortifications that was built, and a lot of it really wasn't destroyed after the war because there wasn't really any fighting for it, and it was on the far outskirts. It wasn't in the way, or it wasn't perceived to be in the way, and the Norwegians used some of it. So there's still a lot of that to see. I wanted to go to Finland, and I may actually be flying in through to get there through Finland. I really want to see parts of the Mannerheim line, and that's interesting. Now, Robert's not here, but I've been working on a special about pre-World War II, pre-1941, Russian abilities, capabilities, and weaponry, tanks, planes. What did they actually have? Because it's been irking me to see in almost every established historian how all the Russian tanks and planes destroyed on the ground. They were obsolete anyway. All this Russian stuff, obsolete anyway. All these tanks Russians had before the Germans came, obsolete anyway. I keep hearing the word obsolete. And the thing about that is the Russians had some amazing stuff before the war, and they fought some really interesting engagements before the war, which hang on. Here it is. Where did you go? Yes. I'm All right, we'll do. Gotcha. Yeah, I got it. I figured. No worries. Yeah, we'll do. Right. Got it. He lost reception. I've been seeing sloppy reception there. Oh yeah, definitely more Dutch force. But anyway, what I was saying is that there's some things, some misnomers about that. But also, yes, the Finnish held the Russians off really efficiently. They did, but the Mannerheim line was supposed to be impregnable. They attacked in the middle of the winter, in one of the coldest winters ever. And the Russians still managed to eventually get, yeah, they lost hundreds of thousands of troops, but the Russians never cared about that. They still did it. And I am firmly, with everything I've seen, I'm absolutely certain that the Russians were planning to attack Germany through the west within the weeks before Barbarossa. But I can't just throw that out there without actually giving you a little information as to why I think that, including I know that the orders had gone out to the Russian units to prepare for the final assembly before, and German soldiers, they kept coming through as they went through with Barbarossa to see huge pileups of Russian equipment, tanks, ammunition trains en masse. The Russians were building airports right up to the border. But anyway, I'm going to build that up a little bit, starting with the Battle of Nanking Gol, where I think the Russians learned a very large, important lesson that also prepared them for Finland, which also prepared them for what they were going to do towards Barbarossa. They never thought the Germans were going to attack. That's a whole different video, very different video. We will get to that later. And in the meantime, I will try to figure out what went on in Holland, what's going on out there. And somebody, we will, hey, I only know what I know until I know what I know. Anyway, I will chat with you possibly not next weekend, before I go for Europe. I'm going to give you a shout out again, but this is the time again. Where am I going? Poland, Czechia, Czechia, and Slovakia. I'm sorry, I'm still saying Czechoslovakia because I only go, you know me, I go by World War II mapping, and that's what that was. So anyway, I'm going to go Czechia and Slovakia, and I'm going to try to skirt the Alps, get some of the Alpine for some really interesting stuff. But Austria, of course, Alps in Italy, Alps in France, come down through France, Belgium, Luxembourg. I don't have anything in Luxembourg planned, but Belgium and Holland, of course, in and out of Germany. There's a couple of things in Denmark, and then Norway, Sweden, and then down to Poland. I could possibly go through Latvia. I thought about that. I haven't been able to find a whole lot of World War I, World War II interesting places to see in Latvia. I mean, everything was one gigantic battlefield. Moravia, of course. Everything was a battlefield in Europe. But if there's nothing to see, you guys don't really want to spend an hour watching me walk through the forest and pointing out where there used to be stuff there. So we shall see. And then I'll probably be in Ukraine again for a little while. I have to do some stuff there, and I want to go, and then back through Poland. So now we will see. Now we will see what I. So if you have anything interesting that you absolutely think something hidden that you haven't seen, and I know you just have to watch all the last 400 videos I've done to see where I've been. I love it when you guys send me suggestions. I'm like, oh, I've been there. Oh, I've been there. I've been there. But now we need to find some of the hidden places. And I am going to try to do I'm going to do a special on the Prussian military and the Prussian forts, castles, fortifications. And thank you, by the way. if it was Iron Cross. I kind of like Iron Cross. And the Austro-Hungarian fortresses. I'm going to try to do some specials on that next year because I think they're really interesting and not a lot known about them, and they're still a big part of the learning that leads into the First and Second World War fortification. There's going to be a special on the battles and sieges of Przemysl, which is really fascinating, and maybe some of the other and the other local battle, also World War II battles of Breslau and Poznan and places like that. It's going to take a little bit more, and there's going to be some special conspiracy stuff on World War II stuff. Yeah, I'm starting to get that particular message, and like I said, there's airing laundry and gossip in public, and then there's things that should be just transmitted to people in email. So if you have anything to say, then don't gossip. You document what you're gossiping about, and it's like documentation, not gossip. And oh, thank you, Ed. Oh, does she now? Well, if I end up going swimming in some of the strange places, then we'll get. So there's going to be a GoFundMe for Ed's wife to see me swim with my shirt off. Synthetic fuel facilities in Poland. Interesting, you should mention it. Yes, there's also outside Breslau. There is some of those, and there's also I was actually writing with Thomas. Let's see, right, who responded. Did Thomas come on? Thomas knows all these things with the dog. He did not respond yet, so he's crawling around some interesting hole. He'll get back to me. There's some places out there that I'm going to go have a look at, and of fuel. And I also have visited several of the duck factories that I haven't shown you yet. And we're going to go do some more Pomeranian wall, I think, because it's interesting. Remember, we have nothing I haven't showed you yet either. Is I have a fully functioning Stalin, or that's a Molotov line bunker, fully functioning Pomeranian wall bunker, or functioning with everything in it, and a fully explained and functioning bivouac on the west wall. So, and one that and the Polish World War II army functioning as well. So I have all these 4 bunkers that that I've been in, that's been restored, that's full of stuff, and we've gone through. So now I can show you how each one of these battle lines independent and separate from each other. And that's kind of one of the things I want to do last year. Now you can be this year. So there. And of course, the National line, you by now know how they all work. Don't drink the pumped out water, bunker water. Yeah, I kind of wasn't planning on doing that either. Satine, yes, that's another place, Satine, that it's on the list. And I've seen that fuel store as well. I just don't know how much there was left of that. I thought a note on that, but I can't remember. Hello. But anyway, so this is the time to give you notes on interesting places and see where we're going, and that's where we will be going. And I'm going to try to. Of course, I'm seeing Roger. Of course, we're doing some stuff, and he's some underground stuff. The other duck factory that you see in the History Channel, I've been there. I've done an extensive walkthrough of that place. Yeah, like I said, documentation, not rumors. Anyway, well, I think pretty much it. I've got to say, you get to vote on what do you want to see next week? What do you want to see next week? What can you can get Prussian bunkers, you can get Dutch fortress. You can get Cold War American nuclear weapons storage. That's 3. Maybe you can get Pomeranian Wall if I pull my finger out and start doing that now. I'm going to put up a survey so you can all vote for what you want to see next week. And just remember, since this is a dictatorial democracy, you're going to get whatever I send you anyway. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. And then we will fix all the other stuff later. Okie dokie. Yes, I'll put up a survey in a little bit. First, I have to get some breakfast salad. Yeah, that is just as interesting as I thought it sounded. Anyway, get more Pomeranian Wall. I'm sensing that just because that's going to take more work and effort from me, that's where you're going to land. It's kind of funny. We now have at this point a collective intelligence where where I now know what you're thinking. All right, you guys. All of you who are members, did you all get your passwords links to the document page on Lost Battlefields? Just make sure. Making sure if you didn't, just email me directly. I'm going to put up some more interesting documents before I go, which I have neglected a little bit because I'm seriously working 12-hour days to afford this thing. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for now, because I can't think of any more because I'm out of coffee/energy drink. I love you guys. I will chat with you, just me and you, in a couple of days. Wait. See underground bunker there? Somebody said underground bunker in Denmark. Do you know the Ugurup? That's not a Danish word. Martin, hvad snakker du om? Tower underground bunker in Denmark. Martin, give me some info on that one. I'm just going to hang around for that for a little bit. You mentioned in something tower underground bunker in Denmark that I have never heard of. Now I'm much curious. Pia, I didn't get your email yet. Just remembering. Flyger, hello, adress. Yeah, I'm just waiting for him to come back to me on. You can't just throw out underground tower bunker at me without expecting me to hang around for that one. There you go. Okay. Martin, you want to tell me here? You want to shoot me an email? Or you want to come on camera and tell me about it? At this point, you have it any which way you want it. But I really am a little excited about the Alpine forts because if you look at them, they look really cool. And I know History Hunter went to one of them, and he's going to have to tell me which one. I will drag it out of him if it's the last damn thing I do. Yeah, I agree. Premiership and Krakow as well. And that's why I actually have to go to just Lost Battlefields. Oh, others fortunate. Thank you. Hang on. Yeah, I tell you to write stuff and then I can't keep up. That's your nice website for. Thank you, Interruptus. Thank you. That's what you said. Yes. When I want to come to Florida. Well, I'll come to Florida probably by Oktoberfest. I think I'm going to be out there because I'm also going to look at a little bit of a little house out there. They're dirt cheap. You just want to start a conversation that leave here for another hour, don't you, Mitchell? I have always been under the impression that Hitler died in the bunker. Psychological makeup being the fact that he lost everything he was fighting for, and therefore there's no reason for him to continue living. He failed at what he tried to do, and he lost the war. I don't think he wanted to live. And I have now seen so much from researchers, especially South American researchers, that are certain that he went there, are certain that he lived. And I'm chatting with some of them that will take me to where he is interned as well. And of course, being a historian, I would love to believe, I have no bone in this fight. I would love to believe that he did, because what an interesting page of history that would open. And how many wonderful, interesting historians are going to have to drink themselves to death by having to rewrite all the history books. And how many professors will have to retract everything they said. It will change a lot. Still, it will change absolutely nothing, because even if he made it, exactly, I don't think he wanted to survive. That's one of the things I asked one of the guys who's, and Bormann, I am 99.9% certain Bormann made it. Absolutely, hands down. He made it out with all his money. And the body that was placed in Berlin was, or this part of his body was placed there years after he died. I have no problem. Bormann made it. The money made it. The organization was well funded and kept existing. The children of the children of the children kept their thing, but they never really affected world events. And had Hitler survived, he still didn't step out of the shadows and affect world events or do anything. He would have been rescued by his people and left in a villa somewhere with Eva Braun. And then what? He would have sat there on the porch drinking Mai Tais for the rest of his life. He would probably have been a sad, angry man. And he didn't. So it doesn't matter to world events if he made it or not. It would matter. It would matter to the post-war Nazi International as a symbol that he'd been alive, but he still didn't do anything to affect world events, or he didn't return to the world stage, So I'm starting to. There are people that are so convinced that they're ready to take me to where he's buried, and I gotta say that rubs off on me a little bit. And I did ask them. My question was, he didn't want to live. How? I mean, I don't think he did. So how did they make him? And then one of the stories was that they actually knocked him. Bormann had him knocked out, not knocked out, but drugged, and then him and Eva was transported, stuck on the plane, and then flown out. And however they got there, but they were there, and they had children there, and they had grandchildren there, and apparently one of them lives. Well, and they have pictures, and it's very well documented, I gotta say. So I am. After I have talked to my South American researcher over the past couple of months, I was 50-50. I was probably 75% certain he died. Now I'm closer to 50-50 that maybe he didn't. So, and if you're a member on Patreon or here, or my or Lost Battlefields, so you'd be on our chat. I did post a photo that it does have problems digitally if you research that photo, but it was supposed to be taken of him in 1953. It does not look like a photo I know of him, and he doesn't look like he have aged appropriately in that photo. But there's still artifacts in that photo that's maybe a problem. It's also a digital copy of a photo that's been repaired. It's not completely analyzed, but Paul took a look at it and he has some question marks. I don't know. The Russians always said that they found his body and eventually destroyed it, and part of that body was found in the archives in Russia and were tested to be a woman. So that doesn't seem to have worked. And of course, Bormann. Like I said, Bormann's body was not properly DNA tested, and then it was destroyed. So, and they didn't even test it against his son, who was living in Berlin at the time. He had like gazillion children. And even so, if they did, there's a very real possibility that the parts of woman's body they found in Berlin was brought in from where he actually died. So I am fairly certain he did. And yes, Stalin was playing a game. And of course, we can't believe anything Stalin was. Stalin was a very smart man, and he was playing the game with everybody. And it was also part of the Russian plot to keep he was clear. The Russians were claiming that the Western allies were hiding Hitler for a while. It was all a game. If all the missing Nazis were found, we wouldn't be talking about them today. Well, yeah, we would. Then we'd be talking about what they've been doing. All right, and I have somebody at the gate, so I have to go, everybody. I will talk to you shortly.